So welcome everyone. This is Kari and I'm here with Cheryl and Colleen and we are the Consistently Creative crew and it is the first Wednesday of the month of May. I can't believe it's already May. I know I say that every month, but it seems like this year is just flying right by. And tonight we're going to do something a little bit different in our photo time session. I wanted to give you an opportunity to work inside your account, but I was hoping to guide you in maybe exploring some areas of your account that you have not explored. So this is actually based on a scavenger hunt that some Forever ambassadors did during a recent training for Forever Regionals. And I took it, rewrote it, adapted it to customers so it would have some things that might be something you haven't looked at lately, or maybe something that you haven't gotten back to, or maybe something you don't even know where it is. So my intention was to kind of take the same type of scavenger hunt game kind of thing that they had done and tailor it to something that we all could work on for our 90-minute session. And just to say right off the get-go, you don't have to do everything on the list. Some items are going to apply more to you than they might apply to somebody else, depending on how you use your account or what you already have. Some are really quick. Some of them could turn into bigger projects, but there's also some things based on organizing, descriptions, using facial recognition if you have it, looking at account settings, looking at some things behind the scenes. So I hope that this should give you some things, one to think about, but also some things for you to actually do. And hopefully you'll learn something. My goal is always to, expand our knowledge, increase what we're doing, and make it a little bit more usable. So I wanted you to have the opportunity to get this, and anybody who's watching the recording who did not receive this in an email, you can send us an email, consistentlycreativecrew@gmail.com, and we can always send you a copy of this. But as you work, I'm not going to keep this recording going, but at the people who are here live, feel free to ask questions, share things you find, mention things that surprise you, because typically the things that you discover as you're going through your account are the things that are going to be really helpful to everyone. So does anyone have any questions kind of before we pause the recording and just get started? All right, well, we'll pause the recording and okay, we've gotten a few questions and I'll go ahead and record some of those. So one of them was how to find out the number of files that you have in your account. So when you are in your gallery or in your albums, you will see in this lower right-hand corner above the question mark for the Help Center, this percentage. And when you click on that, you will see how many files you have preserved in your Forever account, which is a good way of knowing exactly what you have and how many things you have in there. The other question that we had was about how many albums were private versus public. And there is a filter on the album screen when you are in the upper left. If you click on filters, you can actually sort by how many are private. And you could see that. You could see how many are set to public, which is usually a mistake because most people do not have their album set to public, at least until they're done really working on them, if they want them to be public. So that was one question. And then we just had another question about creating album covers using the album cover designer. So I'm going to go ahead and demo that. So we thought we'd record that. So I'm going to go ahead and make a cover for this trip album here. So the way I do that is I go into the album itself. And when you click on the icon here, because you can see I have no photos in this specific album, but I have a bunch of albums. And when I hover over it, if you could see the word cover designer pops up. So that's one way of getting to the cover designer. The other way is to go to the three dots and click on cover designer. So where there's one way to get to some setting, there's normally at least two. So Cover Designer, and then it opens up to something like this that you can use. And over on the right, there are some standard templates that are set up by Forever for us to kind of just get started. If you create anything that you're going to use as a template, as you can see down here, I have some family memories and I started using different colors for the different decades. And I decided that I would save one from each decade until I kind of got it the way I wanted it. But if you have something else that you want to standardize and maybe reuse and just change a name or change a year, you might want to save it as a template. So this is somebody else's really nice travel picture, but I don't know that I would want it this way, but I could start out with this. I could also look at any of the other ones that they have here. So I'm going to just go to this one and I am going to, if you single click on the text box, it doesn't allow you to edit. If you double click, it allows you to edit it. And I've got my caps lock on. And you can see that this is a little too big because the L went on to the next line, but you can change the font size. And I'm just going to type in some other number here. Or, yeah, there we go. If I wanted to change the photo here and get a different photo in from my account, I would click on photos. Then it says I have no photos yet, but I could actually put some photos in here. I could change the information. And let's say I don't want to use a photo at all. So the way it is right now, I could delete it because you can see I've got that selected. And I can say, you know what, I'm going to just start with a blank slate. And I could add a square. So it's pretty user-friendly. So if you didn't want to do something like that, let me just maybe pick something that's a little bit, and maybe I'll add another shape. And then I'll put some text in there. So you can play around with the album designer and see what you find that you like. And maybe I'll put in some text and I'll add a heading and I'll just say 2025 travel. So you can make it fancy, make it simple, make it plain. And there's actually quite a bit of editing capabilities within here as far as sizes and fonts and styles and all of that. So lots of options to change and customize what you're going to do. Once I'm done with it, if I decide I like it, it says I can apply it as an album cover, and it's always a two-step process because it comes up and says, review the image. Are you sure this is what you want to do? And then I can apply it. And now you can see that will be my album cover. If I decide later on I don't really like it or I want to change it, I can go back into Cover Designer and I can edit it. Maybe I don't like one of the other colors. And if I say, you know what, I'm going to use this and I want to save it as a template, you can go up to the upper left and click on Save Current as a template. So there's a lot of options in here. So hopefully that helps.
So Kari, I'm on that thing, and I just want to add a photo. Then it says return to the album and add photos to use.
Right. So you need a photo in the album that you're trying to create a cover for, so it has something to pull from. It doesn't actually pull from your entire gallery of thousands of photos. Right. So just have a photo in here. Pardon?
How do you go back and get it and not
just
leave
close
where
this
you are?
and just close this and come back in. So I could take in here, I could, I don't know, I will grab something here. So I'm just going to grab, I know I have a favorite sitting in here.
I don't know what happened.
There it is. So I'm going to go ahead and select this photo and I'm going to add it to that album. And I'm going to keep it in both places. 2025 trips, put it there. So now I have an additional photo here. So if I wanted to click in here and go back to cover designer, and I go to photos, you see now it has photos in that album that I can choose from. Did that help? Maybe.
I don't know how to get them to be where they need to be.
Okay. Why don't we pause? All right, so wrapping up for the night, there's been lots of questions, lots of engagement. I think this worked out really well, and I appreciate everybody who joined us this evening. I had a couple of things that I wanted to catch on the recording so you could see them, see that information. So one was about refer a friend. So when you hover over your avatar in the upper right-hand corner, and there is a drop down that it says refer a friend. And when you click on this, this allows somebody to be referred to forever. And there is a link down here that you can copy and you can send it via an email or Facebook or a message, however you want to do it. And when they sign up and purchase something, they will be able to use this $20 coupon that they'll get, but then you will also get a $20 coupon to thank you for sharing the love. So, and if you scroll down further, it'll show how many completed referrals, but that is a very helpful thing to do, and it's much appreciated. And I love the fact that Forever still allows us to benefit by when somebody shares their link to Forever, that you will also get a $20 coupon, which is awesome. So the other thing was I wanted to show something in the deals. So all the artisan people are probably very well aware that it's designer days. And so that's going on. And when you go in to look at designer days, if you happen to go and look at your wish list, they will sort automatically with the current designer, and you'll be able to see everything that you might have put on your wish list at the very top for whoever's designer day it is. So that's helpful. And the other thing here is that Forever decided to bring back the dollar per scan for scrapbook pages for us. It's been almost 2 years since they had this kind of a deal before, because it was really hard for them to try to get back to this price. So what they did was they designed a box that was specifically for scrapbook pages and only scrapbook pages. And they really want to keep it just to 12 by 12 scrapbook page. They can be true 12 by 12 or the old CM 12 by 12. And each side is a scan because they're scanning them on a flatbed scanner. And so this is brand new, and it's only a temporary thing for now. I don't know that they're going to offer this long term, but these are available now, and it's a great way to get your precious scrapbook pages digitized at a very good price. So that's going on now, and that's only started a couple of weeks ago during Pixie 500. So, and that was actually on your list to do, but it was pretty close to the bottom and you may not have gotten there. So the other thing I wanted to do was talk about how to get to the community paid feature requests. So the way I always do it is I go to the help center, and I go to the help center, and you can see when I go here, the landing page looks a little bit different because this is actually run by Zendesk, a company that Forever contracts with, but it's similar to a lot of other companies. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in, and I'm just going to sign in with Google. So then it knows who I am. And the nice thing about this is that whenever I've made a request through the help center, whether it was through a chat or I sent them an email or I gave them a call, all of my requests show up under my request. So I can always go back in and look at something old that I sent in, especially if I'm doing something for a customer and I want to go back and check, how did that resolve, or I don't remember, I can see that. So that's all kept in here. But in the community, when I click on the community, there are two community topic sections. There's feature requests and there's product requests. So feature requests has to do if there is a feature that you would like to see, and there was something that came up tonight about cover designer and nested albums. You can go into feature requests and see if there's already one there, and if there is something there, you can actually go and upvote it. So let me just see here. Let me just see what it has here about cover designer. Design and pre auto book. Those are other covers. Those are other covers. Okay, I'm not seeing a whole lot here. So I would say maybe there isn't something in there for that specific type of thing. So I'm just going to go back to feature requests. But this is something that they do pay attention to, and they do meet very regularly. And there are some things that happen because a number of people voted on it and said, hey, we really want this, and they're able to, make it happen really quickly. So this is a good thing to take a look at. And if you find something that you really want to encourage others to vote on, put it on the Facebook page, share it with me, let me know. I'll share it with other ambassadors. And then product requests are products that we don't already have. And so there's lots of things that people are requesting. And again, our print team pays attention to them and see what is there. So that is a good place to look and see what is going on and how to let your voice be heard. And that was all that I had written. Did anybody else have any other questions that I should get on the recording? All right. So it was a great evening. I appreciate everybody joining me and working on the exploring and improving your Forever account. And I jotted down some ideas for some additional things that could be added to a version 2 at some point in the future. But thanks again for joining me tonight, and I hope that you found it really helpful.
Thanks, Kari. It was great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.